Alright, I think we're live now. I do believe it. What is going on? Okay, finally. Sorry about that, guys. I freaking something cut something cut me off. Very sus because shit like that seems to happen when you're spitting real fucking good shit. But yeah, something cut me off. Somebody, something, somewhere. Anyways, regardless, I was talking about desires, right? And I was talking about. See, now I lost my point. See, that's how they get you, bye. They get you right in the motherfucking pussy. Right in the puss. So while I'm searching up and trying to figure out where I was before, I want to talk a little bit. We're in Aquarius sun right now, okay? We're nearly 3 degrees in. So this means that we are going to be all about associations. Who are you associating with? What are you associating with? Person, place, thing, whatever it is, blink, blink, blink. So that's going to be the name of the game this season, guys. And Aquarius is fixed air, so you're going to be fixating on your own way of thinking and communicating about things. Like, I'm not sitting here trying to worry about the name or the title. What is the behavior? What is going on? If there's things like that, you'll start to realize how, in certain circumstances, it may be necessary for you to indulge into your. Oh yeah, so that's what I was saying. Certain circumstances, it may be more necessary for you to indulge into certain desires, right? But that's on a case-to-case basis, you know, and it's also about balance again, you know, not to go overindulging in that desire, basking in that energy, but not allowing yourself to burn and be consumed by that fire, by that desire. So when it comes to making your desires work for you, it's really like sometimes it's as simple as doing some things like that, where you're finding that balance, finding that middle ground of when to indulge and when to not indulge. And especially when it comes to your desires, indulging is when you actually have that, right? But when it comes to you indulging while you don't have that, that's where it becomes negative, because now you're trying to indulge into something and forcing it to happen, forcing it to occur, when really deep down, you know that's probably not the best thing for you. It's not going to benefit you in the long run. So when you know this is how you can get your desires to work for you more, because instead of being a victim to your desires, and your desires are upheld, by your whole entire being, and you're being put under these desires. So you will sacrifice anything for your desires, your body, your mind, your spirit, like whatever you can do in order for you to get that desire, you will do it. But whereas when you are in that energy of finding that middle ground and knowing when to balance these, knowing when to indulge and when not to indulge, this is when your desires actually will start working for you. Because now you may get a desire, but you know that if you don't have it, you're able to let it go and be free and be light, right? And then if you do get your desire, you know to appreciate that even more and be as much grateful for it as you can, because you know as well that you were the one who created and brought that desire into fruition by being free and allowing yourself not to get caught up into that heavy energy and sunk down into that, you know, fire. So this will turn into you having a desire and thinking about it, and then you will literally let go, completely forget about it in certain circumstances, and then that same desire will come around, but it will be fulfilled that time. And you might not even have to lift a finger, you might not even have to do anything, but it's because of the space, the mental space that you were in, it will literally come around. The reason why I even brought this up as well is because I literally had a desire to get long dangly earrings, right? Instead of sitting around and being like, oh my gosh, I don't have money, I literally made one with that rope or cattail, which is like those long reed thingies. They're not really reeds, but like they look similar to reeds, and they usually are in like watery places or swampy or rivers or whatever. I use that to make this dangly earring. Then I even got gifted, mind you, when I got the cattails, I already felt like I was in a state of abundance. And that was again like partly due to me letting go of my desires and allowing them to be free, but also being a spiritual practitioner, I emanated that thought myself. I emanated the feeling and the thought of being abundant, of having abundance, right? And that came in the form of, some people may think that it's so not abundance, but to me, I felt the energy and I knew in that moment that that was something that I created because I felt abundant. I felt like I was rich, even though I was literally outside. I didn't have any money on me. I just had my phone and music, you know what I mean? And I was foraging. So when you disconnect from that energy of abundance, you're not able to see it in all its forms in reality. You're not able to see how abundance can come in many different ways, not just financial. And then this is why you get lost into this desire and you constantly feel like you are living day to day, living paycheck to paycheck, because you're not allowing yourself to be in that space, to bask in that energy of abundance, because you can't see it in your reality. And this is where people's reality will allow them to fall short and fall victim to their desires again. So it'll all come back to that round circle thing where if you just allow yourself to let go of your desires, let that be light and free, right? And then you just constantly emanate what you want, what state of being you want to be in, regardless of what your reality shows you. You'll experience it regardless because you're in that state of being. So now you're looking at the world through that lens, you know? But if people aren't spiritually inclined or spiritually aware or doing enough shadow work, you probably won't even know or be able to comprehend or believe what I'm even saying right now. But it's truth. It's facts. It is straight facts. So, yeah, as I was saying, I ended up literally getting gifted a whole bucket of shell. Like, look at this, guys. I didn't even go to the beach. I haven't been to the beach in ages. Because I prefer, like, just going nearby and walking and stuff like that. Although I do love the beach, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I got gifted a whole bucket of shells. And boom, bitch, now I've got my big dangly earrings and they make the noise that I like, that I desire, keyword, the noise that I desire to hear. I love this noise, like when shit clinks. Like, so in my mind, I was thinking, I want dangly earrings, I want them to clink, I want them to make that noise, like that. Because that is like, it's something that satisfies me, it fulfills my spirit. It's just, yeah, you know what I mean? So, when it comes to that, like that was a circumstance and a scenario where I noticed the mechanism that I'm explaining in this video. I allowed my desire to be free, I let it go. And then it came around to me like within like what, 2 days, 1 day, I think it was 1 or 2 days, like it was so quick, it was like boom, blink of an eye. And I noticed that, and when I realized that, what I did and what I've been doing, because I do that all the time, it's just taken like a few more experiences for me to be able to be like, okay, yep, I'm definitely doing this. I know that I'm doing this now. And now I'm coming to the video and being like, yeah, this is something you can do, you know. But if people are still lost into their desires, they won't be able to experience stuff like this. And then a lot of people will be able to experience like an inkling of this, but won't realize that what they're doing or how they're doing it. And they might just think that it's because they're manifesting or creating. But two people can manifest and one person might get it and another person might not. Key word and key point in that situation is one of them was allowing their desire to be light and free and wasn't getting rooted into it. The other person was getting rooted into their desire and holding onto it and constantly craving and wanting and needing and needing and needing and needing. And then boom, bitch, like now they have to wait longer for it because they put in more energy work, more thoughts and feelings, more shit into that energy, and so they were pining, you know. And anytime you're in a state of need or desiring or constantly wanting, that is not the state of being that someone is in if they have that thing. So if you know anything about manifestation, bitch, you're pushing it further away from yourself, like letting go, boom, boom, boom. So it's like that again, spiritual, like everything in the spirit realm is in reverse. So when you push it further from yourself in the mental aspect, then spiritually you actually pull it towards you. You know what I mean? When you try to pull it towards you in the mental realm or even in the physical realm, spiritually you're pushing it away from you. You know, so you've got to look at everything from that reverse kind of aspect, and then you'll be sweet. You'll be a lot more sweeter than you are now, baby. Baby, baby. Don't mind me, guys. The fucking voice cracks. I think some throat chakra shit's going on. Like, well, I do know, because I literally was thinking that, and then I came across a reading from the Hanged Empress on YouTube. Shout out to Hanged Empress. She's got some real insightful readings. Their video that she posted yesterday, literally, straight made me think, oh my gosh, yes, it definitely was my throat. Because I was thinking it for a second, and then, yeah, you know, you see the confirmation after you go out into the world or you go online, and then you're like, yeah, okay, that's my confirmation, that's my synchronicity, you know? And sometimes people need a lot more synchronicities, because then it takes them a lot of time to actually be like, oh my gosh, yes, I finally get the message. But, you know, if you're wise enough, whoopsie, if you're wise enough, then you'll be able to pick up on the synchronicity within a very short amount of time. So make sure you be a wise one, love. Make sure you be wise if you want to, you know, learn quickly. But if you don't want to learn quickly, you know, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Because I'm a Gemini, I got that Mercury, you know, that Mercury energy. So I come, you know, I'm able to relay things quite quickly, and things are able to be received and externalized quite quickly, because I got that Mercurian energy, you know? And then with my Aries rising, it brings it to the extreme level. And I'll say, like, with that Sagittarius moon, I don't do it without a meaning or a reasoning. So you got the meaning, the reasoning, the quickness, and you got the action, which is the Aries, that Mars energy. So I don't know, that's a lot of energy that can be utilized for a good cause. But don't get me wrong, when I was in the past, I used to think that it was all negative. I used to think, oh my gosh, this goes against this sign, this goes against that sign, that goes against this sign. But no, babe, anything can go against anything. It depends on the practitioner, on the spirit. What is the spirit doing? How is it doing it? Okay, that is really what is going to make the difference in terms of whether your gifts are, you know, plentiful, or whether your gifts are dry and like a desert, you know, like, bitch, your gifts have been sucked up by everybody else around you because you didn't know how to actually harness them properly. So, you know, because I've got a cusp, like, cusp, definition of cusp is confusion, you know. So all my life, when I found out about cusp, I was like, bitch, like, I'm confused, like, I don't have any, like, redeeming qualities. I'm just looking at my flowers. Redeeming qualities. So I was like, no, my chart is fucked. Like, I'm fucked. Like, then I look, as you learn more about astrology, I'm sure if you guys have been in the same space, you learn more about astrology and you realize most people's charts is fucked. Like, at least 1 or 2, maybe even 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things in people's charts are fucked. You know, so it really becomes like, what are you doing with it at the end of the day? Because you could be as fucked as possible in your chart, but if you are in the right mental space, bitch, your chart's going to be popping. So yeah, when it comes to all of those stuff, I wanted to talk about how, you know, you can get your desires in a very timely manner. But if you allow yourself to sink into them and get overwhelmed by them, then babes, your desires ain't going to come anytime soon, you know. But as well, I wanted to bring this point home, where when it comes to you allowing or making your desires work for you, because you've developed this space for yourself that I'm talking about, where you're able to allow them to be light and free and not get weighed down by them, then it starts to become this thing where your desires actually start to show you, like, certain things, especially because you're not lost into it. Now you're able to see them from the outside looking in. So now when you do indulge in certain desires, you actually start to notice a more positive outcome or a more beneficial outcome rather than a negative outcome, which you may have noticed before. You start to notice how when you do indulge into your desires, you actually experience more positive circumstances. Maybe you experience more of a positive energy, or maybe you experience more of a positive mirroring aspect. Oh, I love that right there, how the water's kind of flickering off the from the sun's reflection in the top of the screen. That's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So you start to notice, oh my gosh, there it is again. Oh, I could just lick my screen right now. So so yeah, you'll start to notice that your desires actually show you more benefits rather than downfalls. And this is due to you not feeling weighed down or allowing yourself to get lost or consumed by them. So this is why I titled the video, Make Your Desires Work For You. Because now in the spirit realm, you've detached from your desire and you're now looking at it from the outside looking in. And as a practitioner, you're now practicing or, using your desires in your favor. So anytime you do receive a desire, it may come in the same form or it may look the same way as the other desire that allowed you to get lost into it. But because now you're in the outside looking in, you're like, oh, no, I know. Okay, I can jump into this for now. And you jump into it and then you actually notice, okay, when you come out of it, it is not the same circumstance. It is not the same outcome as when you were in that same space before. So this is why it's always not what you do, but actually how you do it. And how you do it is pertaining to your mental state, your spiritual space, whatever. All of those things tie in and create the whole picture. So you can literally be that type of person who indulges into a whole bunch of shit that other people will indulge into. Maybe you might spend like a whole day binging shows, or you might spend like 3, 4, 5 hours a day binging shows or playing games. But because you're in the right mental space, you will actually notice more positive outcomes, and you'll be able to easily detach from that desire as soon as it doesn't need to be utilized anymore. And this is how you can still enjoy your life, still have a great time, still enjoy and indulge into your desires, but not get consumed by the fire, So a lot of people who are spiritually inclined might find this quite simple, so you may know already what I'm talking about, and you'd be like, yes, bitch, I already know where you're at, I've been there, and I've done that, and I embraced it, and I'm encompassed in that energy, like whatever the heck you want to say, whatever way you want to look at it. And then other people, who are not spiritually inclined, you may have that thing like, oh, sounds like he knows what he's talking about, but I'm not sure I believe it. So you have to go through that experience. Then you come back to this video and you'll be like, oh my gosh, he was so right. Or you just think back to the video and you'll be like, yes, I knew exactly what he was talking about. So either way, my work here is done. And I just wanted to, drive those points home. Kind of give people a little bit of wisdom about how you can actually make your desires work for you instead of getting consumed by that. Because the fact that I'm not going to sit there and get consumed by my desires and feel like I have no control over my life because I'm constantly burn out the day, burn out the night. I fucked that song actually. I mean, shout out to you guys, but that song's riddled with some freaking symbolism. So they're either a puppet or a mason or whatever, Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the puppets and the masons out there, I don't fuck with your guys' ideologies or ways of being or states of being, but that's not for me to fuck with, But I do like certain parts of it, I like to cherry pick. I like to pick out the good bits and leave out the nasty bits. Although it just tends to be that a lot of them tend to have a lot of nasty bits. But that's okay, I'm not going to sit here and dwell on that, and I'm not going to sit here and create some kind of mental or physical warfare over it, even though there already is a mental warfare going on in terms of that aspect and that area. But you know what, like, that's that. I'm not going to fucking sit here and spit that crap. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got some wisdom and some knowledge and some nuggets from it. And stay tuned for the next one. But I also wanted to quickly show you guys what I've been crafting lately as well. Before I end the video, I wanted to make a whole video for this, but fuck it, I'm here. Look at this little basket that I made, guys. This little thing that I crafted. I'm fucking frothing it, and obviously you saw my earrings already. I got some what is this? Bamboo or palm leaves. Palm leaves and stuff like that. And use those to weave. They're looking so cute. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a little janky because that's my first time making like one of these types of baskets. I've made another basket before, but I had like someone watching over me and teaching me, so it was a little bit more easy and simple. And then I also have this basket. Fucking made it. Fucking. I also have this basket. It's very asymmetrical, but I love that asymmetrical look. As you can tell, I got one earring on and one earring off. And I got that little feather, even though it looks like an earring, it's actually a hair clip. So what's it called? When it comes to this basket, this is my second one, and it was actually inspired by the first one because the first one was going to be triangle, but I couldn't close it off as a triangle. So I was like, bitch, let me make a bigger one and make it a triangle, and I just... Sorry, guys. I'm very into, like, sensations and touch and stuff like that. So when it comes to things that I literally want to eat it or, like, bite it or lick it or smell it or, like, squeeze it, like something. Like, so when I look at this and that I'm enjoying it, I'm like, oh. But I won't actually bite it because I'm a bit of a germaphobe. But anyway. And then you can, like, you can store so many things in this basket. This is actually inspired by a weaving technique, which is Maori. So, Maori are the indigenous people of New Zealand. Some people know by the haka, the haka and the rugby and bullshit like that. Actually, rugby is low-key very similar, and it was actually invented long after a Maori sport, which is very, very similar. So, got my inklings and my suspicions that rugby itself is actually Maori hobbyism and was created as a way of copying the game that we have, which is called Kio Rahi. It even sounds the same. Rahi, like, bitch. Don't get any more obvious. But yeah, this is a weaving technique that I learned from our culture, Maori people, which is very, very beautiful. I like it. I love it. And then for me, this has been a way of me kind of reconnecting to my roots, reconnecting to my culture. And that reminds me, I wanted to do a karakia, which is a form of a prayer in Maori culture. Because we have lots of karakia that is like used for many different things, like many different occasions, many different moments, but karakia generally is used as a prayer to bless something, to initiate some form of energy, to put it out there, like kind of like an affirmation energy. I actually forgot to do that karakia at the start of the video. So I do want to do that karakia now. But yeah, I've been using weaving and karakia as a way for me to kind of reconnect to my roots, even though I live in Australia right now. But, ideally I'll go back to New Zealand at some point. Just don't know if that's right now, because I grew up in Australia. You can tell by my accent. My accent is an Australian accent. So I grew up in Australia, but I always felt connected to my culture, being Maori. I know some other people who grew up in Australia don't necessarily feel connected as deeply, and they may think that they feel connected, but honey, I'm telling you, you don't be doing all the shit that I be doing just to reconnect, like weaving, like all that shit. Like, if you do, then yeah, probably, like, most likely. But if you don't, like, and you're just like, oh, I just love Maori culture, but you don't actually make that effort or try to reconnect in some way, shape, or form, and you probably don't really actually connect to it as much as you think you do. Because, like, besh, I've been living and breathing this shit, you know what I mean? So even though I'm not connected physically to the landmass. I grew up in a completely different landmass, but bitch, I live and breathe this shit. So when I learned about Māori culture and I delved more into it, I realized that actually I've been doing this the whole time. I just didn't know that it was Māori culture. I just thought it was this. I just thought it was that. I just thought it was spirituality. I just thought I was into crafting and art, I thought I was into forest, but no, I'm starting to realize more and more these are practices that Māori people do and did. So it's me reconnecting to my culture, whether that's in the form of English or not. And you can do the same. You know, the more you start to reconnect and do things that you love to do, you are actually reconnecting to your spiritual predecessors, your ancestors. So, you know, let's say you're into weaving and you may even not know anything about Māori culture, but yet you start to weave in this similar way to how I'm weaving now and do similar practices. Honey, that might be a sign that you actually are a part of that spiritual predecessor line or that spiritual predecessory, you know, like because you are doing the practice, you're doing the actions, and you're doing the certain practices that involve or are involved within that culture. So it's highly likely that you trace your lineage back to that culture, whether you are in that physical body or not. You could be on the other side of the world, you know. So even like I notice a lot of people from overseas are drawn to learning Te Reo Māori, which is Māori language, and I used to think that it was because Māori language is beautiful, which definitely will play a part. You know, in some cases, it probably definitely is because Māori language is just beautiful, right? Now I'm starting to realize, though, as well, actually, a lot of those people, or maybe a good chunk of them, actually would be Māori in their past life or trace themselves to that lineage, that spiritual predecessory of Māori, of where Māori originate, that spiritual space. And them going and learning Te Reo is their way of reconnecting to that culture, right? To their original state of being that they wanted to reconnect to, because your spirit is always trying to go back to the space that it resonates to, as well as try go out and expand and travel to different spaces. But it's always going to find its way back home, you know? So if you are one of those people and you feel really drawn to the Māori culture, Māori language, take that as a, you know, it could be a sign. Could be that that is your culture, even though you may not physically be involved. But remember how to separate, because physically you may not be in a Māori body right now. You're in a completely different state of being. However, or you're in a completely different physical aspect. However, you know, you being drawn to that in the first place is a sign in itself. So pay attention to that sign. Connect to your roots, your spiritual predecessor, in whatever way you can. And you will be a lot sweeter, you'll feel a lot freer, and you will feel a lot more in tune with your own state of being and the state of being of the others around you and the space and everything. And it will be all harmonious and beautiful and lovers type shit, you know, like the lovers card. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about as well. I'm glad I got that in, because I would have definitely been a little bit annoyed if I didn't put that into the video. But I will go deeper into those topics as well as I start to make more videos in the future. I just wanted to kind of like give a ground basis to foundation as well as my other video. You can check that out where I talk about you've been raised racist. That's another little foundational video before I start to get more into talking about Māori culture and all those kind of aspects, because people ain't talking about it in the way that I'm talking about it. Like some people are. There is a select few people online that talk about it in the way that I talk about it, but I don't know if they can talk about it to the depth or with the clarity that I'm talking about it. So I know where I know where I fit, and you know, I put myself in my place. I keep myself in my own place and my own space, and so yeah, that's why I'm doing that. Anyways, why do I even explain? I don't know why I explained that. Like maybe there's a sense of a part of me where I feel like I have to prove myself. So yeah, back to the karakia. I don't like that word prayer, but that karakia. So this one is talking about there's a few different translations, but essentially you're summoning or you're calling upon the energies from above, from below, from within, and from without. So it's like that as above, so below kind of energy. So let's go. Tū tawa mai I runga. Tū tawa mai I raro. Tū tawa mai I roto. Tū tawa mai I waho. Kia tau ai te mauri tū. Te mauri ora ki te katoa. Haumi e, hui e, Daikie. So I thought that would be a beautiful thing to share with you guys. If you guys wanted me to type in the words or tell you what the karakia was as well, just feel free to let me know in the comments. And I'll definitely let you know. Actually, why don't I let you know now? It's just tu tawa mai. I just searched it up. Tu tawa mai runga. So I'm pretty sure tu tawa is like when you're summoning or you're calling upon. Mai is me, calling something to you, bringing it to you. So tu tawa mai, come to me, or I summon that to me, or call that upon me. And then um, is, there's a few different meanings. I don't know if I can really talk about that, but it's kind of like a yeah, I don't know. I can't really explain that one. I'm gonna be real. And then runga is like pretty sure runga is above or up. It's up because raro I know is down. So if runga is actually up and then raro is down. So and then roto is within, I'm pretty sure, or in. Actually, it means lake as well. But that's also like part of the spiritual roots of the language and stuff. How the environment and the atmosphere actually relates to our internal space. So that's how I know as well that Maori people are actually in tune with that spiritual aspect because of the language, the way the language is crafted, the way the language is spoken, and how the synonyms are laid out. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I said that already before. Peace.